Let's look at week 8 solving two-step equations. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at the solving two-step equation review. Last week we looked at solving one-step equations. I know that's something you did in the 7th grade, and I'm sure you probably did a few two-step equations as well. So make sure you take some time to look at the review, and then let's go through the video notes together to help you prepare for the homework. Okay, just like solving one-step equations, our goal is to isolate the variable. I'm going to use a highlighter on this so we can help to identify what we need to isolate. So we have 5 times x plus 3 equals 8. The first thing we need to do is that we add or subtract first, and so we need to take a look at our terms. So the first thing I want to do is I want this to be by itself. If I take a look at that, that means I want the term with the variable to be by itself. I have a positive 3 here, so I need to subtract 3. If you're not sure about this, you might want to go back and look at last week's lesson on solving one-step equations to remind yourself about that. Now remember, last week we wouldn't have had the 5 here. We would have had x plus 3 equals 8 and subtracted 3. But here we're adding one more step. So we know that these are going to cancel. 8 minus 3 is 5, so that leaves us with 5x on this side. 8 minus 3 is 5 on this side. So actually what you're doing is two one-step equations, because now we need to get x by itself. Remember that we read this 5 times x equals 5. So we want to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so they cancel out. And x equals 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now remember, you don't need the 1 here, but you do need the 1 here. So if you want to put 1x equals 1, that's fine, but it isn't necessary. Just like last week, we can check our answers by substituting 1 for 5, or x, I'm sorry. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 equals 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8, so we know that we got the correct answer. Let's move to number 2. On number 2, we need to isolate the term with the variable, so we need 3r to be by itself. So we have 3 times r plus 7 equals negative 5. We've got a positive 7, so we're subtracting 7 from both sides. That means these cancel. That leaves us with 3 times r equals negative 5 minus 7. Negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12. Now we need to get r by itself, so this time we're doing a one-step equation with multiplication. 3 times r equals negative 12, so we're going to divide both sides by 3. These cancel. We get r equals negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Number 3. 3 times p plus 4 equals 19, so we need to highlight the 3 times p. That's what needs to be by itself. We've got positive 4, so we subtract 4 from both sides. These cancel. 19 minus 4 is 15. Now we need to isolate the variable p. Divide by 3. P equals 5. And again, you can check these just like we did in number 1. I'm just not going to take time to do that right now. Number 4, we need to isolate negative 6k. When we highlight it, we've got negative 13 left, so we need to add 13 to both sides to get rid of that. These cancel. Negative 6k equals 83 plus 13. 83 plus 13 is 96. Then we need k by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. And we get k equals, we've got 96 divided by negative 6, so we know it's going to be negative. 6 goes into 9 one time, leaves 36 left over. 6 goes into 36 6 times, so k equals negative 16. Number 5. This time we've got x divided by negative 3 minus 2 equals 9. We need to highlight the term with the variable. We need to get it alone. That leaves us with a negative 2 that we need to get rid of. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. That leaves me with x divided by negative 3 equals 9 plus 2, which is 11. Now we want this by itself. So we have x divided by negative 3 equals 11. So we're going to multiply both sides by negative 3 to get rid of that. Cancels that out. And x equals 11 times negative 3, which is negative 33. Number 6. We have x divided by 5 plus 7 equals 11. We want to isolate x divided by 5, or the term with x divided by 5. We've got positive 7, so we subtract 7. That leaves us with x divided by 5 equals 11 minus 7, which is 4. We want to isolate the x, so we're going to multiply both sides by 5 because this is division, x divided by 5. And we need to do the opposite. These cancel, and x equals 4 times 5, which is 20. Now, if you're having problems with this, we will be working on two-step equations a bit at the beginning of the year, but I would like for you to spend some time familiarizing yourself with them this summer. If you're having problems, look on my website, go to Khan Academy, go to Virtual Nerd, go to Cool Math. Any one of those websites should give you some more information or examples to help you to prepare for two-step equations. You can also search online for two-step equation worksheets. And if you do that, that will give you some extra examples to work. And it will also have the answers so you can tell if you got them correct or not. Once you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and move to homework 8, solving two-step equations, and complete that. That's the sheet that you'll need to have done for your homework in August.